When it comes to Father's Day, some things never change. Dads want steak. And the experts at Omaha Steaks are making it easy for you to deliver uncompromising quality with gifts that are sure to make his day. Plus, get an extra $35 off with code THANKSDAD when you shop omahasteaks.com today. We know, being your dad means he already has everything he could want. But just picture the look on his face when he sees those extra-aged USDA-certified tender steaks, juicy air-chilled chicken, beefy burgers, and more. With carefully curated gift packages from America's original butcher, it's never been easier to show everyone why you're dad's favorite. And every bite is 100% guaranteed to bring a thrill to the king of the grill. Shop now at omahasteaks.com and get an extra $35 off with code THANKSDAD. But don't wait. Father's Day is June 15th. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details.
Craftsman Days are here at Lowe's with big savings on the tools you need. Save $100 on the Craftsman V20 6-Tool Power Tool Combo Kit, now at $199. No matter what the project is, Craftsman's high-quality, high-performance products empower you to build on. Stop by your nearest Lowe's store and check out the full line of Craftsman tools today. Valid through 6/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome into a new hour of Live Bet Sunday here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington with Will Hill. Lots of action across the sports world today, and we are hanging with you through all of it. So, taking a look at the Charles Schwab Challenge here, Ben Griffin and Matty Schmid both bogey on the 13th hole. So, their scores go down, but the Ben Griffin's lead stays the same. He is 13 under for the tournament, 2 strokes up on Schmid. Bud Cauley is 9 under for the tourney, 5 back of the leader. And then there's Scotty Scheffler. He's always there. He's always hunting. He's 8 under, 5 back of the lead. 2 birdies on the day and a bogey. Good start to the tournament, turned kind of rough in the middle there, and now he's coming back. He's tied for 4th with Rob McIntyre, also 8 under for the tourney. They both shot a 64 yesterday in round 3. We have game 3 between the Stars and Oilers. Stars tried to make that lead a little bit less. Lee and Bichel scoring their first goal of the game at about the 15-minute mark in the second period, but Connor McDavid tacking on another one before the break, so the Oilers leading 3-1 in the second intermission here. Evan Bouchard and McDavid, the 2 goal scorers in the first period, so McDavid with 2 on the day. Back into baseball, though.
Yeah, can I jump in here? Charles Schwab, our buddy, a listener of ours, a buddy of mine, a listener of ours. How's this for a bad beat? Rio Hisasun, who I have never heard of, he tries to bet him top 5 at 16-1 for $50. He accidentally bets $500 at 16-1. He was second after the first round, and he finished 6th. So that's a tough one.
Oh, snap.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, I'm looking at this. I mean, okay, but look, so he's only 1 stroke back. I mean, he's tied for 6th with a bunch of other guys.
Tied for 6, yeah.
One stroke back of Scotty Scheffler and McIntyre, who are on the 15th and 14th hole. I mean, there's, it's not final yet. They're 2 strokes back of Bud Cauley, who's on the 16th. Like, just start praying. Start praying now. You're Will's friend. Put your hands together. There's still a chance. That's insane, though.
My buddy John, maybe he's listening. He listens all the time. So,
thanks, John.
Tough one. He'll be all right. He does well with golf, but we've all been there. That's look. Pro tip: we've all been there. You make 2 or 3 bets a day. That adds up to like 1,000 bets a year.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to bet the wrong thing, the wrong amount, the wrong market. We all make mistakes. It doesn't matter how experienced you are. You're doing something. You're driving. You're doing whatever. You mean to bet the under, you mean to bet instead you bet the over, you mean to bet the full game, you bet the first 5. It's happened to everybody. So always check your bets, always double check. But tough one for our boy.
Oh man, that happened to me almost. I didn't hit send, but earlier this week, I thought I was looking at a Dodgers bet, and I was like, what in the world? Like, how is DraftKings making a mistake this big? Like, I just thought they were totally mispriced. Right before I hit send, I noticed it said Angels, and I was like, there it is.
Yep.
But you're right. I mean, we're making thousands of bets a year. You're going to get mixed up every now and then. Hopefully not. We haven't talked about the NBA in quite some time. So let's get back to the Knicks and Pacers tonight. I want to check in on this line movement here. So Pacers had been holding steady as a 2-point favorite for most of the last couple days. So now 1.5. Looks like it's still 2 at circa. 71% of the bets, 75% of the handle is on Indiana here. But, well, first of all, Will, like, what do you make of this? Oh, actually, no. Hold up. I just refreshed the betting splits. Pacers now a 1-point favorite at circa. Looks like they just took a big bet on the Knicks because I just said the handle was in the 70s for the Pacers. It's now 61% for the Knicks. So, did you expect to see the Knicks in an 0-2 hole here after being the home team in this one?
No, and I definitely didn't expect. If you would have told me when there was like 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game and the Knicks led by 17, you said, you know what, the Knicks in a couple of days are going to be down 0-2. I said, you're smoking something. Crazy, just crazy how that game one unfolded. I still can't believe these 4 or 5 days later that Halliburton shot somehow found its way through the net after going that high in the air. But I'm not surprised people are betting the Knicks. I think most people agree these are 2 even teams in the market. Right or wrong, loves desperate teams. They love the must-win situation. Minnesota last night, and that one got home. In the first round, these teams that were down 2-0, I remember the Celtics got bet down 2-0. The Cavs got bet down 2. People bet these teams that are desperate. They think they're getting their best effort, their best performance. I'm not so sure. If I had to pick, I would bet the Pacers. I think that, we had Tommy D on earlier. He did a good job explaining that Brunson and Towns are just mismatches for whoever they try to guard, and the Pacers are relentless trying to find these mismatches. The Pacers just seem like a better team. Now you're going to throw them in front of a frenzied home crowd. That team, that franchise has not had a lot of success the last couple decades. Haven't been to a final in 20-something years, 25 years. That building's going to be loud. They make every three. I think they're shooting 42%, over 40% from three for the entire playoffs. So maybe if you're betting the Knicks, you think one of these nights, a bad 3-point night is coming in terms of shooting, maybe. But I like the Pacers, if anything, here. So I think the Knicks have a lot of problems. Now, look, we know if it's down 3-0, it's probably over. But if there's ever going to be a 3-0 comeback, it's going to be from a team, and Boston almost did it a couple years ago. It's going to be from a team that has home court advantage to begin with, where let's just say you can split these two. You lose tonight, but you do win game 4. All of a sudden, you're 3-1, you're home for 5, and you'd be home for 7. You just need that one more road win. So again, it's 4 no matter how you slice it. But I do think if the Knicks get a split, it's just different when you're down 3-1, but you got 5 at home, you got 7 at home. We'll see how these 2 games play out. I hope we get, I have Knicks in 7, and I have over 5.5 games. But just besides that, I'm always rooting for longer series. It's more to talk about. It's more to watch. I hope we don't get a long layoff here where the Thunder win in 5 and like the Pacers win in 4 or 5, and then we got a week off between games. That would not be fun, but we'll see. We'll see. I think the Pacers probably win tonight, but I do think the Knicks have some toughness about them. I think the Knicks will find a way to get one of these. I don't think they're getting swept here. So I don't know. I talked a lot. Do you have a feel for any of these, either of these NBA games? We'll start with Knicks and Pacers tonight.
Well, I'm kind of just looking at the trends here, and I do have a couple that basically in summation, it's pointing to a Knicks loss, but a Knicks cover. So since 2003, teams down 0-2 on the road in game 3 are 9-12 straight up, 10-11 against the spread. Okay, so that one's not good for them. Since 2003, road dogs down 0-2, this just in general in the playoffs, are 4-10 straight up, 6-8 against the spread. Okay, not good. Now let's look at Tom Thibodeau specifically. On the road when coming off a loss, 4-2 straight up and against the spread. And then teams that were favored by more than one possession at home, but were upset in those games, then are road dogs in the next game, are 36-45 straight up. Okay, so a loss, but 49-32 against the spread. That's a 65% cover rate. So they're basically, what that says, when they're upset as a favorite in the previous 2 home games, then they're a road dog. The next game is a little bit more competitive. I don't know. I would like to know with that trend how big the spread were that they were covering, because 2-point spread here, I mean, that's feels like a win.
Right.
But the question here is, do the Pacers show up with the same intensity? Because historically in game 3s, they've been prone to letdowns. They lost by 16 against the Bucks in game 3 of the first series. They lost by 22 on their own home floor against the Cavs in the second round. They're 2-3 straight up in game 3s under Rick Carlisle, and Carlisle was 8-16 in game 3s before arriving in Indiana. 8-16 in game 3s. That's like a pretty decent sample size. And I just wonder what the reason for that is. Like, are you just hitting a lull? You're in the middle of the series. You don't, like, the intensity's not there, but you're not ready to make a bunch of changes and show your cards in case you go the distance.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just thought that was kind of an interesting stat.
Yeah, it could be a situation where he had the higher seed, and in game 3 he's on the road, maybe up 2-0, and that's a good spot for the other team. I'd have to go, game by game, but it is at least worth mentioning here. By the way, Houston looks like walked off Seattle. It was a 3-3 tie. I think somebody hit a walk-off 2-run homer to make it 5-3. Don't see who hit that. But boy, that's a tough one if you had the +1.5, because in extras or bottom of the ninth, you figure you're good plus the 1.5, but not the case. 2-run walk-off homer there. Marlins lead 2-0, bottom of the 4th. My boy Cabrera's pitching well, so getting a half a run here feels pretty good. How about Luzardo? After giving up 3 in the first and losing by under 2.5 runs, he's settled in. It's still 3-2, bottom 4th, so he's pitching pretty well after a bad start. And then it's still 1-1 San Diego Atlanta. So a few more outs here. We can cash this under 4.5 first 5. I think you need a run to get your over 1.5 in the team total there.
I do. See, that's the thing about runs early in the game. I mean, I wouldn't have expected it from Luzardo, but sometimes they just give up a dinger early, and whether it's nerves or getting used to a new environment, and then they settle in. So, unfortunate beat for you, but I still need one more run here. I mentioned the betting splits on VSiN.com earlier when we were going over the NBA game. I want everyone to know that you can access those as well with your VSiN Pro subscription. Unlike other sources, our betting splits come straight from Circa and DraftKings, giving you insight into where the sharp action is landing. Circa, of course, is known for taking the big bets from professional bettors. We just saw that happen live, while DraftKings provides a more broader perspective. So you are getting the insight on the real action here from the public and respected money. Check it out at VSiN.com.
When it comes to Father's Day, dads want steak. And the experts at Omaha Steaks are making it easy for you to deliver uncompromising quality with gifts that are sure to make his day. Plus, get an extra $35 off with code THANKSDAD when you shop at omahasteaks.com today. But don't wait. Father's Day is June 15th. Shop now at omahasteaks.com and get an extra $35 off with code THANKSDAD. Minimum purchase may apply. See site for details.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Couple of score updates for you. The Padres and Braves headed into the top of the 5th, or actually they are in the top of the 5th already. 2 outs, the score tied at 1 each. I need one more run. Will does not need any. So I was hoping we could both cash our bets here, but so far, I mean, I guess we'll have to see what the Braves do. Yeah.
But Philly and the A's, almost called them Oakland again. I didn't. You need over 2.5 first 5, I believe. You got 2, and you got 2 on nobody out here. So you're in good shape. You got a shot.
Oh, let's freaking go. Gunnar Hogland still going. Yeah, okay. My box score is taking a while to load. So let's get back into Sunday night baseball here between the Dodgers and the Mets. I mentioned it earlier. Dodgers opened plus 125. Obviously, that's not going to last long, especially when you got everybody waking up late on a Sunday and seeing that plus money still there. So they are now minus 103 on the money line. Mets minus 116. What was your play for this game?
I like the Mets first 5. Just doing the show, I don't know, 3 hours before game, 2 hours before game. I don't know. I would imagine we have lineups at some point, and maybe during the break, or we can check the lineups. A line move that dramatic, I would expect maybe would somebody be getting a day off possibly for the Mets? Soto usually doesn't sit, but I don't know. Maybe one of the bigger bats is sitting for the Mets because that's a pretty dramatic line movement if there's no lineup changes. And Senga's really good. The Dodgers have not played great. I understand taking the plus money with LA anytime you can get it. I get that, but they have not swung the bats here great the last week, 10 days. I know you made the point they've hit okay against righties. It's lefties that have given them more trouble, I believe. But give me Senga in the first 5 on the money line. It's a pitching advantage. Mets have a good lineup. Knack is okay, but nothing special. So Mets first 5 money line. Are you fading me?
I guess I am, in a way. Not directly. I know this might be our first time where we're directly against each other. Okay, I'm looking for the lineup. It looks like Brandon Nimmo is out due to neck stiffness. Jared Young has been called up to fill the spot. Mark Vientos is out. Okay, so that must be what it was. I was.
I don't know that Nimmo would move the line that much, so maybe it's just people betting the Dodgers. It's possible.
I think it is. And when that happens, I check the betting splits just to see if that makes sense. Circa is showing that the tickets are split pretty evenly, yet 86% of the handles on the Dodgers. So, and they opened Dodgers plus 123, minus 104 now. So, I mean, it could just be that. Yeah, it's kind of wild to price the Dodgers, even though I do think it's like a pretty big pitching discrepancy. Just seems like you're baiting. Although, I don't know, maybe that's a good way to bait casual bettors, is to price the Dodgers that way. Yeah, so I guess we're kind of fading each other, but I'm with you. Don't like Landon Knack. I do like Kodai Senga. However, I think he's due some negative regression here. 1.43 ERA, a 3.19 expected, 4.13 expected FIP, which checks out with an 84% strand rate, so he's gotten a little bit lucky there. His strikeout rate is down 6 points. It's down 6 points from where it was in 2023, which was his only full season in the MLB. He's getting hard hit at a rate of 43%. So the underlying metrics would say that he's due some negative regression. And even though his worst start is still a quality start, it is worse than what he's put out so far this season. His first 8 starts of the season, he hadn't given up more than 2 earned runs. But last time out in Boston, he gave up 3 earned runs on 5 hits in 6 innings. So again, the 3.19 expected ERA is good, but it's not as good as the 1.43 actual. So it does look like he's trending more that way. The Dodgers are top 5 in weighted runs created plus and weighted on base average against righties. So I think the team total over 3.5 is a pretty good bet for them.
Phillies tie the game, by the way. So 3-3. You cash your over 2.5 in the first 5. And now let's see, 1-1 Atlanta, San Diego, bottom of the 5th. I just need a clean inning here. And I don't even need a clean inning. I think I still win with 2 runs. I cash my under 4.5. So I just don't need a big inning. It's Alex Verdugo, of all people, leads off with a single. Oh my goodness. Watch him last year for the Yankees, basically go months without a hit when I needed him to get a hit. And now he's, turns into Ted Williams. You can't make it up. Yep. Angels trail the Marlins 3-0. Marlins batting in the top of the 5th. So anyone that tailed there and took the half a run, we are in good shape, barring disaster. So the Luzardo one was a loser, but other than that, seeing the ball pretty well here. Got a good feel for these games, I think, this afternoon. So far, so good. We'll see. Disaster, as we know, can always be around the corner.
So good call on San Diego, Atlanta being a pitcher's duel. Like, I would love to see these guys pitch to their potential. I just didn't think we had seen it yet this season. However, I think Dylan Cease's K prop today was 5.5. He's gone over it in 4 innings. He has 6 strikeouts. Yeah. Schwellenbach, I could have sworn he was 4.5. He's at 8. 70 pitches through 5 innings. So I'm excited about that. His strikeout rate had been down from 25% last year to a little under 20% this year. And, Padres are actually a pretty disciplined team. Both of these teams are really. They rank 3rd and 4th in strikeout rate against right-handed pitching in the last month. So for both of these guys to rack up the strikeouts today, I think says a lot.
Yeah, 2nd and 3rd now, nobody out. So I'm going to have to sweat here. The losing run is now at the plate. This looks like a double here from someone on Atlanta. Is 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. So I like the first 3 unders better. All the first 3 under could have lost easily, but disaster looming here with Cease in some trouble, mound visit. So 1-1, 2nd and 3rd, nobody out for Atlanta. Philly A's goes to the bottom of the 5th, 3 all there. And then we're going to the bottom of the 5th. Angels trailing Miami 3-0 with Cabrera throwing a really good game. And Yankees and Rockies still in a rain delay, 4-2. So I wouldn't imagine. I know the Rocky starter Santazella, who's awful, already got knocked out of the game. They already went to the bullpen. Warren had 7 Ks through 4. I can't imagine after what is going to be an hour-plus rain delay, they bring him back. So that is probably all for Warren. So those are the 4 games going on right now.
It would be malpractice to bring out your starter again after an hour rain delay. I mean, I would feel uncomfortable. I mean, how much does half an inning last? It's not even 30 minutes, right? Like, I wouldn't want my guy sitting that long. I think that's unfair. While we're tracking this Braves game, though, I think it's a valid question to bring up the NL East odds right now. The Phillies are the favorite to win it, -125. The Mets close behind them at +150. Then you have the Braves at 6-1. The Nats all the way back at 300-1. Although I do think the Nats could be a contender in a year or two. But looking at the Phillies right now, so they are 34-18. The Mets 3 games back at 31-21. The Braves 8.5 games back, 25-26. Is the Braves at 6-1 to win the NL East something you could be interested in?
Yeah, it's not a bad number. I don't like the fact that they've got to catch 2 teams, but Strider back, Acuna back. We've seen them make up large deficits. What was it, 2022? They were a good 8-9 games back pretty late in the season, like August. They caught the Mets. Now, granted, that's only one team. It's different when it's one team where you just have to, beat them head to head and they slump and you get hot and you catch them. It's different with 2. Same thing with, golf. When you're like in 3rd place, trying to catch 2 different guys is different than just hoping one guy collapses and catching him. But I think at 6-1, there's still enough runway in the season. Their guys are back healthy. They'll probably be aggressive at the deadline. They'll play these teams head to head. I don't ultimately think, I wouldn't pick them to win, but at 6-1, if you told me you took a shot on that with their talent, with their pedigree, with some of the guys they got coming back, I think it's worth a shot. I don't mind that one.
Yeah, I would just try to play it, time it right with the schedule, because they have a 3-game series with the Phillies starting tomorrow. It'll be Strider against Walker, Smith-Shawver against Suarez, Chris Sale against Zach. Ooh, that's awesome on Thursday. It's a Thursday night game. Okay, good. Chris Sale against Zach Wheeler is going to be awesome. If you think they win that series, now is probably the best time to bet the Braves, because I don't know if we would get them at 6-1 at any other point this season. They play the D-backs after that. Then they're at the Giants, at the Brewers, host the Rockies, host the Mets, then go to Miami. So, yeah, I'm okay with that, too. And great point. If they're competitive, they would definitely be buyers at the trade deadline. Okay, coming up next, we'll go back to the court, check on some things happening there, get you an update in the NHL playoffs, and hopefully we will hear from our next guest at some point, Matt Moore, to get his best bets in the NBA. This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. I'm Grace Remington with Will Hill, keeping you up to date on everything in the sports world today. Crazy finish for Tommy Fleetwood. Sometimes the weather gods are on your side. Today, they were on Tommy's side. So he scoots into the top 5 here with a birdie on the 18th hole, a fairly long putt. The ball sits on the lip of the cup for 30 full seconds. You can go look up the video and count it. 30 full seconds. Everyone's standing there wondering, how long do we give it before he taps in for par? Luckily, the ball falls in the cup right before that decision is made. So he ends his day with a score of 68, 8 under for the tournament. Now, this guy, he is a top 10 machine. I believe I heard he has 40 top 10 finishes, which is the most ever for someone who has never won a tournament outright. So his time is coming. But if you had him top 5, it looks like he was priced plus 450 in that market. And what a beat. You can, thank the weather gods for that one, but hopefully Tommy's time is coming. Let's get into tomorrow's. Actually, you know what? Before we take a look at tomorrow's game, Will, between OKC and Minnesota, what the heck happened last night?
That's one, if you were a few minutes turning it on, you really never needed to turn it on. You just check the score and say, oh, they're down 15. And every time you looked at the score, you just glance another few minutes. It's always hard to know when these NBA games are actually going to start. I think they listed it 8:30, which means 8:40 or 8:45. The first score I saw was Minnesota by 9. You blink, it's 15. You blink again, it's 20. They're up 32 at half, 31 at half maybe. They were actually plus 320 on the money line, Minnesota was, for the second half, figuring OKC is going to rally, they're going to be motivated, all this stuff. And Minnesota just ran them off the floor in the second half and easily cashed that money line. OKC, this is becoming a trend. They didn't play well against Memphis on the road in round 1. It's Memphis, no big deal. They won both games. Remember, they had a dramatic comeback in game 3 the night of the NFL draft. And then they won game 4, which was down to the wire. Didn't cover in either one of those. But they played 3 games in Denver in the second round. They lost 2 out of the 3. Now, they won, but they needed to get home court back in game 4. We were doing it a couple weeks ago. They were down 8 in the 4th. They rallied, they won, but they lost game 3 in overtime. They lost game 6 pretty comfortably. They have not covered a postseason game. This is now 0-6 on the road against the spread here in this postseason. So I think they're okay in the series. Now, does it get to 6? Maybe. I mean, that was my pick before the series, but I had kind of given up on that after seeing the first 2 games. I thought, you know what, OKC is going to get a split here at least in Minnesota, and then probably close it out in game 5. By the way, 3-1 Atlanta after 5. So that under 4.5 gets home. Laying the extra juice paid off. So maybe Minnesota gets this one. I'm just, with OKC's road struggles, I am not cutting in line here to lay points with them on the road. 50-50 game. I'll take the 3.5. Again, I don't think OKC's in really danger of losing the series. We'll see Minnesota be competitive in OKC before I think they can steal home court advantage and win one in OKC. And maybe OKC snaps out of it, wins tomorrow, and then, you know what, win in 5 and all is forgiven, all is forgotten. But I would take the 3.5 if anything here in game 4. But a shocking result, and it's just one where OKC no-showed. They slept walk through the first half, got run off the floor, and not shocking a younger team plays better at home, but this is pretty big disparity here between their home and road results, especially in the playoffs here.
Right. And pretty much everything we talked about in the preview for that game regressed the way we thought it would. We talked about Minnesota's three-point shooting, how they shot under 30% in those first 2 games. They go 20 for 40 from deep yesterday. That's 50%. I had talked about maybe some of the Thunder's negative shooting regression would come from SGA getting to the foul line so much, and that whistle won't be as friendly in enemy territory. Well, he only got to the foul line 4 times yesterday. Turnovers were a huge problem for Minnesota in the first 2 games. Yesterday, they had 10. They gave up 15 points off of turnovers. I think it was in the 50s combined from the first 2 games. So pretty much all the problems we saw in those first 2 games went back the other way. It resulted in the T-Wolves scoring 72 points in the first half, the most in a half in franchise playoff history, 143 points for the game, which was the most in franchise playoff history. Their bench scored more points than OKC's starters. So kind of wild. And Will, are you a believer in the zigzag theory? Because coming into the conference finals this year, the zigzag theory was alive and well. I have the numbers here. Over the last 4 conference finals, teams coming off outright losses are 24-23 straight up, 29-17-1 against the spread. That's 63% in a 47 sample size. But the teams that lost by single digits, this is for the total. So that one actually didn't check out last night. But hey, use this for the future, dear listener. Teams that lose by single digits, the total goes under in their next game, 64%. I mean, it's kind of wild looking at these. It's a pretty big sample size. Like, we're tracking games in the last 4 years, and 63%, the team that lost in the previous game goes 63% against the spread in the following game. When you're looking at, like, some of these games are pretty big blowout losses. It's just, sometimes it's hard to imagine that it's going to be competitive in the next one. But hey, now Monday's game is a 1-possession spread. So do you have any feelings about that one?
It'd be take the 3.5 or nothing. So who knows? Maybe Minnesota can win this one. Knicks win tonight, and all of a sudden we got some longer series. I would hate to sit here with a 7-8 day gap between the conference finals and the NBA finals. NBA finals, no matter what. The earliest they start, they start on June 5th, Thursday, June 5th, so a week from Thursday, no matter what here. So whether you get 7 gamers, 4 gamers, we're looking at a Thursday, June 5th start. So we've had a couple times. I remember some of those Cavs Warriors would take care of business very quickly in the conference finals and be sitting around forever waiting for the NBA finals to start. But and I think possibly in hockey, we're looking at that too, where if Florida wins in game 4, and there's no reason to think they won't win in game 4 because they destroyed Carolina, not just in game 3, but the first 3 games. They're looking at like an 11-day layoff between the conference finals and the finals. But and we'll listen to all of the theories, rest versus rust. Is it too much time off? So that'll be a topic. But if anything, I would take the 3.5 with Minnesota here in game 4. If I made you bet it, where would you go here with this game?
Honestly, I still need to dig into it a little bit more. Okay. I want to look at. I'm more interested in totals. The total for this one, 218.5. I want to go back and look at. Yeah, it's there's really not any overcorrections here. 219, 218, 217. Yeah. But looking at the betting splits here, at least early, at Circa, it's still split 50-50 on the tickets and handle for the total. But early money is coming in on Minnesota here. 60% of the bets, 96% of the handle. I'll go over to DraftKings now, see how that's different. No, that market is much more split. It looks like there's a little bit more money on the Thunder at DraftKings. The folks at Circa like the T-Wolves, and then this is really never a surprise, but all the money's on the over. I feel like no matter what game it is, when I click on DraftKings, it's the over.
Yep. Absolutely.
Okay, let me get another score in here. So another goal for the Oilers. We're about 10 minutes left in regulation now. This series tied up at 1 apiece, but Edmonton with pretty commanding lead now, 4-1. Zach Hyman tagging on the extra goal here. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins now with 3 assists, so 3-point night for him. Evan Bouchard, Connor McDavid with 2. Zach Hyman, the goal scorers for Edmonton. Jason Robertson, the goal scorer for the Stars, as the Oilers are up 4-1 in the third period. And I want to check in on golf. I would love to give everyone a golf update. However, my local news is currently in tornado coverage so I cannot see the golf, but I can see the leaderboard. Ben Griffin, the leader, just bogeyed on hole 16, so his lead would be shrinking, except Matty Schmid had a bogey on the hole 14, so his lead still 2 strokes here. Actually, no, Matty Schmid just putted for birdie on the 16th. So yeah, this could be an exciting one as they head to the final 2 holes of the tournament. Ben Griffin at 12 under, Matty Schmid at 11 under. Bud Cauley is done for the day. He is 9 under, 3 strokes back of the lead. So it looks like the rest of this leaderboard is going to hold here as we wait for that final pairing to finish. All right, we're going to head into a break now. When we come back, a few more score updates for you, and I need to tell you about the giveaway that Circa is doing this summer because you really don't want to miss it. This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
This is Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
Welcome back into Live Bet Sunday on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. A couple baseball updates for you. The Marlins leading the Angels 3-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Edward Cabrera having quite a day. No earned runs on 3 hits and 5 2/3 innings, 10 strikeouts. So, he took my advice on his over 5.5 strikeouts. Cheers to you. The Angels came into this with the highest strikeout rate against righties in the month of May at almost a 28% rate. Kyle Hendricks on the other side has allowed all 3 of the runs on 7 hits, 5 strikeouts for him in 6 innings. Will, did you have any bets in that game? I forget.
Took a half a run in the first 5. So nice, easy winner. Get in, get out. Faded our buddy Kyle Hendricks, and Cabrera has really pitched well lately. This is a guy I've always had hopes for, kind of liked more than I probably should, just because the command's not there, but I love the stuff. I think guy's got like a 92, 93 mile an hour changeup. He throws so hard, and it's just harnessing it and commanding it and getting it in the zone and the good parts of the zone. So maybe he's turned a corner. Was decent last outing, I believe, against the Cubs until the 5th, where they scored a few runs on him, but he had a shutout into the 5th. He got to start against the White Sox a couple weeks ago where he was impressive. He's got stuff, and maybe now maybe the light is going on. Sometimes these pitchers, it takes a while to develop, especially these really hard throwers where the stuff can all come together. These guys that throw this hard realize, you know what, I just have to get it across the plate. Let them hit the ball, challenge them to hit the ball because they can't, because the stuff's really good. So the walks have been an issue. So if he can straighten that out and just clean up the command and the control, easier said than done, but he's on his way to being a really good pitcher. So promising stuff here from Cabrera.
Yeah, always love to see it pan out for the young guys. But yeah. So seven starts for him. I was expecting, I think he has gotten off to a little bit of an unlucky start to the year. A 5.50 ERA, a 4.45 expected with a 4.11 xFIP. So not the best underlying numbers, but still the results shouldn't have been as bad as they were. But, and even like this being on the road is even more impressive because career-wise, any pitcher who, plays in a dome is going to be worse on the road. So, I guess playing the Angels helps a little bit there, but right. Good for him. We do have an update for the game to resume in Colorado, 4:15 local time, 6:15 Eastern time. Looks like the Storms are clearing out of Coors Field, according to our guy, Kevin Roth on Twitter. So about less than 30 minutes, we should see that game back in action. Yankees with a 4-2 lead in the top of the 5th is where that one paused. Bottom of the 7th for the Phillies and A's. This one tied up at 3 each. The Pods and Braves.
I just bet this game, by the way. I just
live
took
bet
Philly
it.
on the money line, minus 140. It's minus 145 now. This A's bullpen has not been good. I don't even think you'll see Mason Miller, which I don't even know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for either team because he's been really good throughout his career, but he's been awful lately. Phillies have the stronger bullpen. They've got the stronger lineup. How about Luzardo gives up 3 in the first to lose by under 2.5 runs? He's sitting here the 7th, still gave up, still with only the 3. So he settled down and pitched really well. Little too little, too late, but minus 145 on the money line for the Phillies here. I just like their team better, and now it's the coin flip of not extra innings yet, but the bullpens comes down to the lineups. I think Philly has an advantage here. Of course, the A's are still batting in the bottom of the 7th, so they have 2 outs extra to play with. But as long as Philly's able to get through this inning, you're going to see them become probably a minus 165, minus 170 favorite, something like that. So I think Luzardo, with the way he's pitching, can get them through this half inning. And then I'm sitting with a pretty good bet, I think. I hope. Okay.
Yeah, smart move. Philly's bullpen in the month of May ranks 4th in XFIP with a strikeout rate over 26%. So, should work out, but you're trusting those guys. Did I get the rest of the updates here? Padres, Braves tied up at 3 apiece in the bottom of the 6th. 2 outs, Braves with a man on first. Did want to get some WNBA updates in here. You may recall yesterday our friend Trista Crick joined the program with a couple bets in the W, and she has gotten some nice closing line value on them. She was on the LA Sparks to cover 4 against the Chicago Sky. That line now moving to 5. She also liked the Mystics plus 7.5 against Phoenix. That number now 5. So some nice value there. She also said sprinkle, I believe it was plus 250 on the Mystics to make the playoffs. I know it was a futures bet, but I think make the playoffs was the market for that. But want to give some, take a look at the betting splits here as well on vsin.com. The Mystics, Mercury, that line movement makes sense because Circa is showing that the tickets are split 50-50, yet 77% of the handle is on Mystics. That spread all the way down to 4.5, so it moved a full possession Washington's way. Kind of opposite betting splits showing here for the Sky and Sparks. Los Angeles holding 63% of the tickets, but only 38% of the handle. Most of the money is on the Sky, and yet we haven't seen a major line movement here. Another one that stands out to me is the Las Vegas Aces and Seattle Storm. The Aces a 5.5-point favorite here, only holding 39% of the bets, yet they're receiving 75% of the money. So maybe that could be a game to keep an eye on as well. Those WNBA lines move so quickly. So you want to pounce on them while you have them. Another score update in hockey. Zach Hyman with 2 goals in the 3rd period. So Edmonton now up 5-1 with a little over 4 minutes left to go in the game. So Connor McDavid with 2 goals, Zach Hyman with 2 goals, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins with 3 assists on those 5 goals. So Oilers looking like, they say a 4-goal lead is the only safe lead in hockey. We have seen that been proven wrong this year, but we shall see. It most likely will hold. Oilers should take a 2-1 lead in the series. What else we got? What have we not hit yet, Will? Anything you're interested in right now?
I'm going to give out a WNBA play. I like the Storm plus the 5.5. I'm going to bet that right now. This is not the same Aces team in the past. They're a little bit living off the reputation. There's some name value here that's inflating this price. So Storm plus 5.5 is an official play. I'm going to bet that, by the way, as soon as I give out the Phillies minus 140, next 2 guys for the A's single. So 2 on. Now it looks like 2 out. The Phillies did get the next guy out. Lazaro's still in there. They're giving him a long leash, letting him go the full 7. I think because we had extra innings on last night, and then the game on Friday that the Phillies had to use a lot of their bullpen. So probably trying to save the bullpen a little bit here. But Luzardo here trying to work out a 2 on, 2 out in the 7th. Hopefully we can get out of this inning cleanly and attack the bats here in the top half of the inning. Are you going to bet this with me? Do you like the Phillies or no? Are you going to make me bet this on my own?
Oh, all right. Let me go. Ooh, I can get a minus 125. Wait a minute. Okay. Here's the thing with Okay. All right. I will join you if I can log in really quickly. I got 2 minutes left till commercial break, but a lot can happen in 2 minutes here. Tell me something about the Phillies so I have time to type in about my password and join you.
I can tell you the A's manager is not happy about something. I don't know if it's balls or strikes, but he just got ejected, and he is arguing very vociferously. It had to be balls or strikes because he's losing his mind. I think it's Kotze. He just got thrown out. And have you seen this in Sacramento where it's not a typical major league dugout? The manager gets thrown out. I guess the office or whatever is in the left field, like the wall. So he's got to walk all the way out to the outfield right behind the foul pole to exit, sort of the walk of shame. So he's got a long walk right now as he gets ejected. That was comical.
That was fantastic. And thank you for the story time because it gave me enough time to join you on that bet. I got them at -125. See, that's the thing. The odds board, when you're like comparing it, they showed a +105 somewhere, but I couldn't find that anywhere actually live. So they were lying to me. Okay. If you watch us, you know that Circa is awesome because VSiN broadcasts from Circa. I've been able to report from Circa, and now they are running a giveaway that you really need to get in on. How would you like to play the Circa Survivor or Circa Million contest for free this season? Winner Circle Proxy is giving away one free $1,000 entry to each contest plus full proxy surface. And get this, you will be paired with a VSiN host for strategy all season long. So enter now for your chance to win. Just visit winnerscircleproxy.com/VSiN. That's winnerscircleproxy.com/VSiN. Coming up next, we begin a new hour with a couple of guests for you. Matt Moore joining us from the Action Network and Ed Egros of FanDuel Sports West. Don't go anywhere.